करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
अचतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा विभागपरो हरिः अबाललोचन शंभुः भगवान् बादरायणः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Guru Poornima was celebrated on the 10th of July. On the auspicious occasion of Guru Poornima, we bow down to all the great sages and saints of this country who have maintained this knowledge from time immemorial. Without this knowledge, it is very difficult, not difficult, it is impossible to survive as human beings. Guru Poornima falls on the day which is celebrated as Vyasa Poornima. Sage Vedavyasa is supposed to be the stalwarts among the Gurus. See, in each and every religion, if you see, there will be a founder after which the religion is formed. Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ, Gautama Buddha, they are all the great souls after whom Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, etc. is formed and practiced. If you see Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, there is no such one founder or one particular book like that. But if somebody were to ask, if we want to have refer to one person, if we want to fix one person, without doubt we can say it is Sage Vedavyasa, as it is being practiced now through all schools of thought, various branches, various traditions. Everybody connects to Sage Vedavyasa. So that way he is a very important figure. And that is why the place that we sit is usually called as Vyasa Peeth. Whoever sits here is associated with Sage Vedavyasa only. It has derived a name like Vyasa Peeth only. So on the auspicious occasion of Guru Poornima, we bow down to all the great sages and saints. And as we enter this subject today, which is from life to living. So first of all, these two terms are here, life and living. What is this meaning of this term life? These are very common terms, everybody knows. Life is a state of being alive. Plants, animals, humans, all of us have life. Vis-a-vis inorganic matter which does not have life. So life is that state of being alive, and not only that, the entire span of existence is also called as life. We say, for example, he lost his life. Life is full of surprises. Or we say life began in the earth billions of years ago. So it is talking about a span, it is talking about existence, that is life. What is living? Living is it is in a continuous tense. It is used as an adjective, it is used in the continuous tense here. It is an act or an experience. Living is an act or an experience. It is an ongoing process. For adjective, we say sometimes living room, we say. Living in peace is very important. Most of you would have heard Swamiji say, probably in the video also it came, living is an art, living is a skill, living is a technique. So living is a process, it is a continuous way of life which is called as living. Now when we use the term living in various ways, we say making a living. Making a living means what? That means you have to do something by which your normal day-to-day business is carrying on, earning something. That is making a living. Or you use the term standard of living. Standard of living is also connected to that. A person who has a lot of material wealth with him, we say he has a high standard of living.
So standard of living is also connected with your material prosperity, right? But when we use the term life, you say a person is full of life. What does that mean? Lord Krishna, we can say Lord Krishna, he is full of life. Full of life means there is a lot of cheer, there is a lot of enthusiasm, there is a lot of fun, there is a lot of, this is a person who is full of life. We cannot compare anybody with Lord Krishna, but that is the ideal example that we have when we say a person is living a full life, complete life. In a way, we can say our Swamiji also, in the sense, Swamiji is 99 now. Generally, you will find that he, from his background of being from a business family, to have studied abroad and captained the cricket team in his college and studied in India and abroad, then having been in the corporate life also, and then studying and doing research in Chinmaya Mission, driving cars and playing even at a old age cricket. So you will, and running an academy, writing books. Suppose you say, this is full of life, variety of experiences, like that it is. So this is when we use the term life. When we say get a life means, get out of something which is very, if a person is not happy with the marriage, say, get out of that marriage, you get a life for yourself. When you say that, these are the ways in which we use the term life. We don't use the term standard of life generally, but we say quality of life. Quality of life or so standard of living is with reference to material prosperity, but standard of life is much more than that. It is your emotional well-being, it is your work-life balance. All these things put together, we say standard of life. In general, when we use the term intelligence and intellect, for those who are new, one of the coinages of our Swamiji is that intelligence and intellect. Intelligence is what you gain from an external source, like schools, colleges, etc., by which you gain intelligence. Even animals have intelligence. Intellect is the capacity to think. Intellect is the capacity to control your emotions. It can be creative. This is the difference between intelligence and intellect. A person who has intelligence can get better job and he can improve the standard of living. A person who develops the intellect can improve the standard of life. So we usually use the term living and life in this way. Now, this is not going to be a grammar class, because the topic is that we chose from life to living. So we don't want to get into further all this grammar here. But why do we say from life to living? What is the significance when we say from life to living? Life, see, this world is called as dvandva. Dvandva means pairs of opposites. You cannot understand anything in this world without its opposite. Say, for example, I say a person is rich, means you understand he is not poor. In your own mind, you have a calculation of that and you understand. You say a particular city which you have not gone to, that particular city is very beautiful. That means you have a standard of whatever is ugly with reference to what you know of other cities. Compared to that, you say that is beautiful. So tall, short, high, low, rich, poor, all this is called as pairs of opposites, dvandva. World is pairs of opposites. Literate, illiterate, knowledge, ignorance, everything is there in the world as pairs. Similarly, if you see the term life, obviously the opposite is death. Life and death, we say. So life and death are also used as pairs of opposites. Now I ask you to think, can we have an opposite for living? Can we have that? Of course, in English you can use the term dying. People use the term also. I'm literally dying, they say. It is possible that you use the term. But if you go into the technicality of it, even, see, we are not saying that, as a person is gasping for breath in his last stages of life, it is cruel to say that he is living. Obviously, he's, what do we mean when we say a person is dying? Means his prana, the force of life, is slowly losing its vitality. Battery is getting discharged. Prana is nothing but a battery. Okay. Prana is that which connects your gross body to your subtle body. Gross body means this body, outer body, stula sharira, and sukshma sharira is your mind, is your inner body, mind, intellect, etc. All this is within you, which you cannot see, is called as the subtle body. That which connects the gross body to the subtle body is called as this battery called prana. That's also part of the subtle body only, but it touches the gross body. Now slowly it loses its power. Battery gets discharged. As you grow old, that is why a old person cannot hear properly, see properly, digestion becomes a little difficult. All this is because of the pranic power getting slowly going away. So therefore, when we say a person is dying, this is what we mean, that it is his prana forces are slowly going away. A person can be, let's say, in a ventilator, he is not conscious of what is happening around him, but still you cannot say he is dying. Actually, he is living. In the last stages, when the thing goes, suppose if we say a person is dying, it applies to all of us. All of us are dying right from day one till the day of our death. Slowly we are dying only. But technically, there is no such thing as dying. It is only continuously living. Opposite of living is not applicable. It's not applicable. That is why when we say our life also goes away, what happens to your subtle body? It is still continuously living. That is why the subtle body or inner personality you call as Jivatma, isn't it? Jivatma, or the term Jiva is used, jo maranantar bhi wo jivit hai. That is jivit. Wherever it is jivit. It can be in heaven, it can be in hell. After that, wherever it goes, then we believe that it will come back again and be reborn. So that person is actually continuously living. This is a continuous state of living only. There is no such thing called dying. This is, in fact, you can say in one way we can use the term dying. You know what? What is the greatest fear in life? The greatest fear in life is the fear of death. It is the fear of death. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 40, I think. Krishna says, Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even if you practice dharma a little bit, it will protect you from the greatest fear. So Shankaracharya and other stalwarts, when they comment on this verse, they say, what is the greatest fear? Greatest fear is the fear of death. So even a little bit of whatever he is giving there, he is talking about karma yoga there, even a little bit of practice of this can make you get over the greatest fear. The greatest fear for everybody is the fear of death. Swami Ramatirtha says, the dread of the calamity is more powerful than the real calamity itself. See, there are some people who are, let us say, not used to the way in which traffic goes in India. They can, every lorry or every car that comes on the opposite side, it is like a potential Yamaraj only, like that only they will drive. Now, those who are used to it, they don't bother anything about it. But there are some who are constantly throughout the journey, they say, careful, aste chalo, and all these things, they cannot be peaceful in their journey even for 5 minutes. Okay. In some form or the other, if a person is extremely selfish about himself, selfish about his own existence and nothing more, in the sense of, he is a person who is constantly in the process of dying, you can say. So Swami Ramatirtha says, instead of dying like this daily, better die once. That is better. So in that sense, you can use the term dying. Otherwise, you cannot use the term dying as in a technical way, because you are continuously living. Even those religions where people believe there is only one life, like the modern belief of Christianity, Islam, etc., the Abrahamic religions, they say it's only one life. After that, what? After that, you are supposed to be like a Nitya Jiva. That means either you are damned in eternal hell, or you will be in a place like in the heaven. Till the time salvation happens, you will be there. That is why when somebody dies, they use the term RIP. In fact, we also pass on the message like RIP, rest in peace. It's not correct for us to say. It is correct to say maybe for Christian and Islamic faith from their point of view. RIP means what? Rest in peace. So this jiva, till the time of salvation, whenever it happens, okay, till that point of time, it must be in peace. Let it not get agitated. So they pray like this, rest in peace. So the point is that there is what is known as this Nitya Jivatvam, that is there across all religions. The jiva is that which never ever dies. Never ever dies. It is a continuous living. So the point here is about from life to living, what is this continuous living? Consciously, what is anyway your life goes on like this, but that is not consciously you are trying to do. It anyway carries on like this. What is conscious continuous living? When liberation or moksha or mukti or self-realization, these are all the promises given by all religions, that ultimate state of moksha or mukti is said to be a state of what is known as this abhayam. Abhayam means fearlessness. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, King Janaka was enlightened. His guru Yajnavalkya says, Abhayam vai Janaka praptosi. He does not say that, oh, you are enlightened, oh, you have become liberated, or you have attained a state of super consciousness. What does he say? You have attained fearlessness. So as long as the jivatvam is there, deep inside there is a fear for us. Deep from that fear only arises desire and other things, that I want to acquire things from the world. Everything arises from that. A truly liberated person, a truly spiritual person is absolutely fearless. You attain that state of fearlessness. That means the formula is there not just to cross over the fear of death, but cross over the death itself. Not just you cross over the fear of death, but you cross over the death itself. Here is a beautiful statement from Kathopanishad. Kathopanishad is very relevant. You know, Kathopanishad is one of the greatest fundamental Upanishads, where a young boy, Nachiketa, is gaining the knowledge of the self from Yama himself. Yama is the lord of death. His father is doing a Vajashravas. His father is doing a yajna. In that yajna, he is supposed to give away all the things. All his cows, all his cattle, everything he is giving. But in the process, this boy notices that the father is not giving all the proper things. Those cows which are very old, which cannot yield milk, he is giving. And he is very sad that by doing like this, my father is not going to get the proper benefit. So in a way that he asks, you are going to give away everything. Who are you going to give me to? He is asking. You have to give away everything. I am also your possession. Who are you going to give me? Father gets really irritated. He says, I am going to give you to death. He took that as like a mantra word, and he goes to the house of death. That is the story. The Upanishad starts with this story. So he goes to Lord Yama, and Lord Yama was not there. So 3 days he waited. Yama came and he says, sorry, I made you wait for 3 days. I have to give you 3 boons for that. You ask whatever you want. So first he says, when I came, my father was very agitated. Let his mind be peaceful. Please grant that. Yama said, that is granted. Second, he says very many people in their way of life, they are doing a lot of yajna by which they will attain prosperity in the world. They will also get good things after life also. So give me the right technique by which I can tell the society and the society will be benefited. Yama teaches that technique also, and he names that ritual in the name of Nachiketas itself. So Nachiketa yajna is given. Third, he asks, what is it that is beyond death? What is self? I want that knowledge. Yama is little taken aback. He says, you ask anything that you want in the world, I will give you. Don't ask this. So then Nachiketa says, if that is so dear and that is very important and secretive, that is what I actually want. Yama says, no, you ask for anything else. See, you know what are the things that are in the world, but here is some secret possessions that I have in the heaven. Like the maidens that are there, the chariots. The chariots means like now you give a person a Ferrari car or something like that. That is the charm. Like that, great chariots are there, great maidens are there. Everything is there for you. You can take anything that you want. This is not normally available for everybody. To which Nachiketa says, in American language, you can keep them. You can keep them. I am not interested. I am interested in only one thing, which is the knowledge of the self. Yama was very happy. Very happy means he was only testing that this boy is very serious about what he is wanting. And he then starts the great Upanishad, that is the Kata Upanishad. Yama is the guru and Nachiketa is the Shishya. In that, fourth section, verses, mantras 10 and 11, this comes. Mrityosa mrityum gacchati ya iha nana iva pashyati. What is interesting is that Yama does not say, nana means plurality, different. So many things are there we see in the world, right? It's plurality that we see. He says, this is not exactly a plurality that is here. It is appearing to be plural. The one supreme entity alone is here, which is the self, but it is appearing to be plural. One who sees this plurality as real and he is caught up in this plurality, he doesn't say that they will go from life to life. He says they will go from death to death. Death to death. That means a proper life is one who is able to see that unity only. He is the one who is continuously living. A term we can use here is Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta is a very special term that we use only in Advaita Vedanta. A person can be liberated here and now. A continuous living. He alone has the right to live and live properly. All others, he says, one who views this plurality as real, as it were, he is going from death to death. Meaning lifetime to lifetime, you can say like that, but he doesn't say. That is why death means life. Life means death. Living is beyond life and death. So therefore, we are justified in saying it is from life to living. From life to living. Right. Now, let us come to the practical level now. How do we differentiate between living and existing? We use the term, see, plants, animals, humans, all of us are living. As far as plants, animals are concerned, we can say they live their life according to whatever has been set for them. They are existing. They are existing. You can say they follow their nature. No problem for them. But how is it that we are different? If you put in that pyramid and say that human being is at the top, what makes our existing little more special than that? Here is a mantra from, not a verse from Hitopadesha, very simple. Ahara nidra bhaya maitunam cha samanyam etat pashubir naranam. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha dharmena hina pashubis samanaha. Ahara, food. nidra, sleep. Bhayam, bhayam is fear. Fear means that basic instinct and all those things connected with that, wanting to live. And maithunam, coming together, mating, etc. All these, he says, are same and equal pashubir naranam, for pashu, which is animals, and naranam, for human beings. All these are there, instincts of life. It is there for us also and for animals also. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko visheshaha. What is extra and special for a human being? He introduces the term dharma. Dharma alone is that which makes us separate, different, and superior to animals. Dharmena hinaha pashubis samanaha. If dharma is lost, if dharma is not there, you are equivalent to animals only. This is a very simple verse that he says. Now, therefore, the difference between animals and humans is following whatever is the dharma of a human being. Right. Now, what is this dharma and how do we derive this from practical point of view? What do we live our life for? Here is a Professor Martin Seligman, a thinker. He gives the idea of what is the purpose of life. How do we want or derive pleasure at 3 stages. First and foremost, all of us here want a first life is a pleasant life. Pleasant life means we want pleasure. This pleasure includes sensual pleasure, emotionally good feeling, that which is good, meaning feel good factor, whatever we have, mostly to do with sensual pleasures, meaning how we contact the world with our senses. You eat a mango, that is a pleasure. You see a movie, that is a pleasure. Life is meant for like this. Have a jolly good time, enjoying the pleasures of the world. This is not wrong. This is not wrong, but this is at one level. First level is a life where you are choosing happiness and it is a pleasant life. Few people go to the next level, which is a good life. In good life, he terms it as engagement. Engagement means work. He calls it like a flow. See, there are some people, they are not enamored just waiting for contact, meaning Saturday, weekend, I have to go for a party. I am waiting for the things to get over, but point is, work and other things I have to do, but I am not like really enjoying it. After work, I have to quickly devote myself to those things which are giving me pleasures in life. That is the first case. Very few go to the second, who are able to derive the pleasure while doing work. This is enjoyment, enjoying your work itself. There is a flow, there is an engagement. A person, he was a pilot, he likes to fly. He says, I would have flown planes for free, but that they are giving a salary is a bonus for me. Like that, if we are able to bring in the aspect of pleasure into our work, they are more blessed. See, what is the motivation behind their work? All that is different, meaning whether you are doing work for selfish purposes or all, those are secondary. But the point is, a person who is a software programmer or who is a cricketer or who is a politician, whatever it is, they are completely engaged in the work in such a way that they are enjoying it, that they are able to derive nice, good feeling out of it. So, this is at the second level, that beyond sensual pleasures, they are able to derive the pleasure from engagement and work. Very rare are people who go into the third category, which is beyond pleasant life and good life, there is a meaningful life. There is a mission. Mission means they are looking at pleasure from the point of view of some higher purpose or goal in life. See, we see some people earning well, doing business, suddenly something, there is a call, They leave everything, maybe go to a village, set up a school, teach the underprivileged Adivasis or children there, or they do some other thing, open a clinic where they don't have access to anything, provide good medicine. At what stage, how it will come, we do not know, but very few people are able to match their life with certain mission or purpose. When we talk about mission or purpose, it is obviously doing really what is good or beneficial for others. Swami Vivekananda says, your real happiness lies in making others happy. That is the real happiness. They have understood it. So therefore, they are able to dedicate their life and they are able to be happy by serving others. Now, this is what Professor Seligman says, and this we can map into our Indian way of what is known as Purusharthas. In Indian system, you would have heard this term Chaturvida Purushartha. Purushartha means purpose of life, objectives of life. What do you live your life for? You would have heard this term Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay. Set aside moksha now. Moksha is liberation, self-realization, beyond the world. But in the world, they have categorized the purposes into threefold. First, Kama. Kama is enjoyment. What are you living your life for? Pleasure in various forms. Using all my senses, etc. The aim. So there are many people who fall into this category. Kao pio, like Ashkaro, this is what life is meant for. So this type of a people, their main purushartha of life is to enjoy. That is falling under Kama. Second is Artha. Artha is wealth. Acquisition. So in the Swamiji's books, which are outside also you can find, in Governing Business Relationship and Fall of the Human Intellect, he says, most people in the world live their life based on these two things, which is acquisition and enjoyment. I want to acquire, then I want to enjoy. I want to acquire a club membership, then I want to enjoy the benefits of what the club provides. I want to acquire a house, then I want to live in the house and enjoy. So there is an acquisition, there is an enjoyment. This is what most people are caught up in. So this will fall into those two categories of what Seligman said, which is pleasant life and good life. But beyond this, or rather the first one is Dharma. Dharma is righteousness. What is Dharma exactly, we will not be able to define. It has no equivalent in any other language. Dharma is Dharma. Dharma has so many meanings. Dharma is righteousness. Dharma is religion. Dharma is law of nature. Dharma is, ethical and moral values. Like that, so many meanings are there. But what is Dharma? Dharma is that which makes a thing what it is, without which it is not what it is. That which makes a thing what it is, without which it is not what it is called Dharma. For example, Dharma of a sugar is sweetness. There can be other types of sugar. There can be white, crystalline or brown or whatever it is. But there cannot be a bitter sugar. Sugar means sweetness. Rose means fragrance. There can be yellow rose or red rose or anything. But rose means fragrance has to be there. Dharma of the rose is fragrance. Dharma of the sugar is sweetness. What is the Dharma of a human being? What is the Dharma of a human being? So, if a person, so all other aspects of the nature, whether it is animals, whether it is birds, plants, reptiles, everything is following their Dharma meticulously, unconsciously. They have no other choice. Sun has to give vitality, water has to be cool, fire has to give heat. These are all very, very clear. But what about the Dharma of a human being? Dharma of a human being is to align himself into this law of nature only. So therefore, if a person has a set of rules to follow by which he is able to go towards the ultimate purpose of life, then he is supposed to be following Dharma. So make Dharma as your purpose of life. Out of the Dharma comes Artha. That means if you do your Dharma properly, if you do based on that actions properly, you will get money. You will get. So Hinduism or our way of life is not against money. It is not against enjoyment. But it says make the primary focus or objective to be Dharma. Once you are following Dharma, then you will get everything that you want. Within that boundary, you can obviously enjoy also. So we can fit in that Seligman's theory of pleasant life, good life and meaningful life into these three categories, which is Dharma, Artha, in the opposite way, Kama, Artha and Dharma. So if a person, again coming back to the topic, from life to living means a person is properly living his life in this world if he is following Dharma. If he is following Dharma. How do we translate into practical thing? See, if a person comes to Vedanta with any problem, let us say he goes to a person like a Mahatma like Ramana Maharshi. Let us say Ramana Maharshi is an enlightened soul. He is a stalwart. Vedanta, first of all, does not admit any problem. Okay. If you say, I have a problem with my mother-in-law at home, or I have a problem with the funds and finances. So Ramana Maharshi would say, go and first find out who has the problem. That means find out who you are. So Vedanta really does not admit any problem. He says, you have created a problem where there is no problem only. Now this is not a practical solution. If you are under that state, that means what he is saying is correct only. But it will be, you can relate to that only if you are at that level. Okay. Otherwise, Vedanta has only one solution, and that only solution is that you have to have some goal in life and you have to follow that goal, pursue that goal diligently. Now, what is meant by a goal? Goal is something that is beyond your selfish, self-centered interest. This is the normal, general definition of a goal. Goal means an objective. I want to achieve something. In general, it is normally beyond my selfish, self-centered interest. That is what I call as a goal. To begin with, a person can have even selfish goals. Nothing wrong. A person is entering life. He is entering after college and degrees. He is entering, let's say, a corporate life or whatever it is. I want to earn money. Nothing wrong. I want to buy a house because I don't have a house. I want to make sure that I have a house, or I want a vehicle. Having such goals like this in life is perfectly okay. It is not wrong. Okay. When you have even goals like this, make sure that it is not a vague term. I want money. Oh, I want money is a good thing. But what exactly is money? 5 rupees if I give will be okay? No. I want money means you must have a particular figure in mind. So goal must be something which is translatable into numbers. We want to spread the knowledge. Spreading the knowledge is a good thing. But spreading the knowledge means what? I have to take 2-3 classes a week, or I want to sell so many books of so many, 50 books or something in a year. These are all numbers that I can translate. So a goal must be always measured in numbers. This is the first thing. So when you say, I want money, put a figure to that. Million or billion or trillion. Have any goal that is that you are able to relate to. Nothing wrong with any goal. And when you keep this goal also, don't ever think that, my God, whether it will happen or not. As long as you are able to conceive it, as long as you are able to visualize it, it has every potential to get itself fulfilled. The earth does not have any problem in bringing out a small tree or a big oak tree or a grass also. Grass also comes out very smoothly from the earth, effortless for the earth. A big oak tree also comes out very easily from the earth, no problem. No problem at all. So that means it does not matter what your goal is, what your number is, it is easy for the universe to make it happen. This is a conviction that we must have. But what happens is that after a while, if you keep on increasing only your selfish, self-centered goals like this, you will not feel inspired. First you feel the josh, I want to get a car, or I want to stand on my own legs, I want to get a house or something like that, which is okay. But having got that 1 million or 2 million what you got, now I want to make 3 million, that will not be that inspiring. So you must at some point of time bring in a paradigm shift to your thinking. That means the level itself should go up. So these are not incremental changes, but a paradigm shift. In other words, 1 million to 2 million is an incremental change. 1 million to 1 billion is a paradigm shift. Vedanta says you have to raise your goal in that proportion, that type of proportion. Now why will that happen suddenly? Think about it. A person who is thinking in terms of, see, suppose a clerk is there in the office. He is earning 10,000 rupees per month. And you call him and say, I want to increase your salary. What do you expect? What is your figure? Suppose you ask him. What will he say? Maximum 15,000? 20,000? Like that he can never think in terms of give me 1 lakh rupees, he is not going to say. His thinking or his level is not that much where he is able to conceive that. Okay. So he will want an increase, but that means a sparrow flies at that level only. A pigeon flies at the building's level. A eagle flies at a different level. So each person will fly at his level, little more or little less. A clerk can become a better clerk or a good clerk, but he can never become a manager if his thinking is like that. Okay. So therefore, when we are talking about incremental changes, this is what it is. So why will that person suddenly think from million to billion or billion to trillion? He will not think. Suddenly he will not think like that. Vedanta says, you have to find out a cause, a purpose, a higher vision by which 1 billion is justified. So your thinking must increase, your vision must increase. That is what is known as a paradigm shift in the goal. Now, this goal is not something that, of course, translating into numbers, everything is done at the level of the intellect. But it is not that, okay, having heard this, today I will go sleep, tomorrow early morning I am going to set a goal for my life. It doesn't work like that. You usually don't fix a goal, you are usually moved by a goal. I repeat, you usually don't fix a goal, you are moved by a goal. Moved by a goal means there must be a passion about it. For example, let us say, when Gandhi was in South Africa, he got a first class ticket and he was traveling in the train. In the Pietermaritzburg station, he was thrown out because it was meant only for white. This is the story we know. And though he had a proper ticket, he was not allowed to travel because he was brown or black. They consider him in the other category, he should not. This should create a rightful anger in any person. Why should I be discriminated based on my skin color is a rightful anger. So there is a passion. There is something that is brewing inside. One thing is to take this passion and have that revenge attitude and frustration and various other negativities that can come within you. Other is not to personalize it, but change it into a cause. Why should anybody be discriminated on the basis of their color, based on which an ideal or goal may come? You are looking at from the front of your house in the balcony, from the balcony you see that there are some people who are living in slums, let us say. They don't have even a basic facilities in life. You feel very bad for them. At one point of time, when the flood is there or something, they are not even able to cook properly and eat like that. If at one point of time it moves you within, your heart is touched by it, then probably it will evolve into a goal that I need to probably build a house for them or something like that. Then comes the calculation that how much house or what is the square feet or those things are numbers. That comes later based on the intellect. But usually you are moved by a goal. When Swamiji, he wrote various books, he had this target of writing X amount of book. That is his goal, and he fixed it when he was 35, 40, whatever. Why this has to be done? My God, such a beautiful treasure of knowledge is there buried in our Indian system. Vedanta, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, it is there. It has to be brought out, and it is a simple knowledge that can be passed on to everybody. This is something that will move. Once you are moved by it, then it gets fixated. I need to write this book. That becomes a translatable numbers. So therefore, a goal is something which you are moved by. And a person who has lived or who is making his living by wanting to pursue a goal, he is the one he is actually living. Otherwise, you ask anybody for that matter, what is your goal in life? Means not just, mechanically, okay, I have to pass the school, I have to pass the college, I have to earn money, I have to take care of my family. This is what everybody does. So you can't say this is a conscious goal that you have kept in life. You do this because everybody does it. This is a herd instinct. We are talking about a person who is having a conscious goal like this. That is a person who is actually living. Now, for this, what will help you is to identify your area of Swadharma. This is very important in goal. Swadharma means in Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning and in the end, 18th chapter and in 2nd and 3rd chapter also it comes. Swadharme nidanam shreyaha. Swadharme nidanam shreyaha means it is better to die in Swadharma. Arjuna's Swadharma is to fight. We talked about Dharma, right? In that Dharma, one category is there called as Swadharma. Swadharma means one's own Dharma. Each and every person or a group of people, they have their own individualistic nature, which is there within you based on your past karma. It has created a force and momentum within you which is waiting to express. Some people naturally go into music, some people into philosophy, some people into sports and cricket, some people into politics, some people do business. You will find that that boy is doing business with his father when he is a very young age also. That means it is there in his blood like that. So you will find that such things which is naturally coming to you is called as Swadharma. This Swadharma is the field of activity in which you should keep the goal. So Swadharma helps you not just in spiritual upliftment, it helps you in your material well-being also. So goals should be set in the field of Swadharma. And ideal way to set a goal, which we will not be able to go in detail because it is given in the book Governing Business and Relationship. When you have a goal, the ideal way to fix a goal is by what is known as backward planning. It really does not matter at what stage of life you start. You calculate in terms of, in general, this may appear like a very impractical formula, but we can surely say it has worked. But we need to really think about it. Imagine, suppose a person is 40 or 50. According to his family, according to his genes, his heredity, he can generally say that he is going to live up to 70 years, 75 years, whatever it is. That means he has a life to plan for about 35 years. So a person who is having this type of idea, usually he will be fixated in one or two major projects in life. A person who has the capacity to research and find out medicines for cancer, he has to dedicate his life for that. He cannot be treating every small headache and fever. Meaning he can do it. It's not that he is heartless, but his talent has to be used for the whole world like this. Okay. Similarly, a person who has found out that this is what it is, in order to achieve the ultimate aim of life, this is the project that I need to do. Just as I said in example, for Swamiji it was writing book or something like that. So you could create a business, you could create an industry, You can build a hospital or you can do a school, whatever it is. Each and everything that you visualize, this is what it is. Then you backward plan from that point of time till now. If this is what I need to achieve at the end of 35 years, what I should achieve at the end of 20 years. What I should achieve in the next 10 years. What I should achieve in the next 5 years. 1 year, 1 month, now. Like this, if you are able to calculate and backward plan, for which various assessment related factors are there. I am not going into detail for paucity of time. You can pick it up in the book. So this is the ideal thing, but it is very difficult. It's difficult. It's not that everybody is able to visualize something that they are going to achieve, like this big project, etc. Next best alternative is, instead of backward planning, you can do forward planning. Forward planning is what I should do this year. Okay, at the end of the year, there is going to be lectures. We need to collect so much money. We need to campaign, do like this, etc. Then what should I do next month? Then what should I do next 6 months? Like this, you can do a forward planning and go forward. If you are sincere about it, in a matter of 3-4 years, etc., some sort of a visualization will come. So ideally, backward planning, otherwise forward planning is the way to fixate your goals. But let us be clear, most of the people, it is difficult to have goals, etc. What is it that I need to visualize and do? There is a simple formula that is given for them. It is not just a simple formula for setting goals. For anything and everything, it will work. What it is? It is just to surrender to a person and do whatever he tells you without asking any questions. Here, the point is, there must be absolute faith. It could be your guru. For a wife, even she can align with her husband, whatever it is. You have transferred your headache to that person. It is for him to now set goals or something like that. You are able to align yourself with that person and implicitly follow instructions. This is simple. Only catch here is, here the faith has to be absolute. There cannot be any half measures here. If a person, see, it is like a person can go to the top of the building by climbing the steps, which is a sure short way, positive, and one by one, step by step you can go. Otherwise, you get into the lift, but what? You don't touch anything. Let the liftman take you up, it will automatically go. So if you are not able to visualize a goal or something for yourself in life, it is okay. You must be at least able to visualize some organization, some person, or something with which you can align yourself, from where whatever has been instructed to you, that you follow. That is quite simple. But as I said, the catch is that surrender, that faith has to be complete. There has to be no half measures here. Now, what are the goals that can be for specific adhikaris? If you look at it, say for example, suppose you say, if there is a businessman, if there is a corporate person, okay, he can visualize something, he can... what about me, who I am doing service in bank? Any activity that you do, a housewife may be there, homemaker, they say, it is not the correct term, Griha Lakshmi, okay. She is actually maintaining the house, apparently not doing any job outside. Such a person also, or a person who is working in a factory or a bank or anything, whatever you do, give a high value to your work. Bhagavad Gita says, Kripana Palahetavaha. Kripana Palahetavaha means, Kripana means a very pitiable person. Who is a pitiable person? A pitiable person is one who merely works for the sake of the fruit of the action. Sir, why are you working from morning 9 to evening 5? If only I work, I will get some salary by which I can take care of my family. Suppose you say like this, he says it is a pitiable condition. Think about it. Animals are taking care of their family without introduction of money, without introduction of any formal education. Now you say all the formal education I will go through and finally come to that point where I just take care of my family. You are actually lowering your own status. Rather, give a prestige value to your work. That itself is a good attitude. Even you can be just producing a small bolt or nut in a factory. This bolt or nut is going to be used in great machinery. So I am contributing to that. See, a leader is one who has vision. Okay. when Kennedy became the president in America, he was the one who said that we are going to put man in the moon. A leader only has this vision. It eventually happened. Of course, he was shot dead much later, 1969 it happened. But he was able to visualize or conceptualize that a man has to be put in the moon. That is a goal, that is a target. Now, people were working for it. The astronauts, the scientists and various people were working on. So, as a president and as a leader, he was going there to motivate the people also. As he was entering the territory, there was a person who was sweeping the road. He was a sweeper, he was sweeping the road. So, President Kennedy asked, well, sir, what are you doing here? He said, I am putting a man in the moon. This is the attitude. I am just sweeping the road here, but his attitude is that even this work that I am doing here is aligned to putting a man in the moon. So, any job is not a menial job or a low job or anything. A bank employee can be there. How can I serve the customer properly? Anything like that. So, a cricket player can be there. How can I use my talent to win matches for the country properly? Whatever it is. You are able to shift that focus to a higher ideal in that and work in a cooperative endeavor. That itself is a right attitude for everybody. What about students, etc.? All that they need to do is fixate and focus on what should be done at that point of time, which is to study properly, etc. Now, therefore, for all the specific adhikaris also, any work that you do, it can be converted into a proper attitude work. Such a person is actually, we can say, living according to dharma, living according to what he has to attain as a goal. Lastly, coming back to the original topic that we started, from life to living, what is a real living? Who is really free? Swami Ramatirtha gives a very simple story. A person, a parrot is there, parrot is there within the cage. And in that house there is a servant. So, in that house everybody is moving here and there very fast. So, the parrot is asking, what is the matter? What is everybody excited about? There is a Mahatma who has come in the village. So, everybody is going to see there. So, the parrot tells the servant, will you do me a favor? You ask that Mahatma how I can free myself. So, he said, okay. So, the Mahatma was sitting in the bank of a river. So, he went and asked privately this question. The parrot is asking how I can free myself. Once he heard that question, he just fell like that, and in the river he was like washed away. Everybody was stunned. Arey, what did this person say that he is gone like this? Then he came home. So the parrot asked, did you ask? Arey, what type of question he asked? I don't know. I went and asked him, and okay, what did he say? I put your question to him, and sort of he was dead. We don't know what happened. He was like being washed away. That's all we saw. After the parrot heard this, the parrot fell. What is this strange thing? If you ask that person, he goes away. And then they saw the parrot is dead. So they opened the cage and put it. Once it came out, it flew off. It flew off. Then he said, didn't you understand the message of the Mahatma? I understood it. He did not die. He used to go and see, he will be there somewhere only. He did not die. He gave the answer as to what is the method for freedom is apparent death. So, death of the ego alone can make you free. That is the context in which he gave the story. So, it is the death of the ego that will make us free, and freedom alone is real living. Okay. I will conclude with one mantra from Ishavasya Upanishad, which we are not going to delve in detail. It is for you to think about. But it is a very powerful mantra. Various interpretations are there. One is very relevant to our topic today, from life to living. Mantra 11. He says, Vidyam cha avidyam cha yastat vedo ubayam saha. Avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritam ashnute. he who knows these two, avidya, ignorance, and vidya, knowledge, together, having overcome death through avidya, attains immortality through vidya. So from life to living is to intelligently combine avidya and vidya. By avidya you cross over death, and by vidya you attain immortality. One of the fabulous verses which probably will need one full hour to go through. 9, 10, 11 is a very important mantra in Isha Upanishad. So those are interested, they can study the Upanishad book there. Now lastly, what is the takeaway? First and foremost thing, before we even talk about practically setting goals, etc., we need to understand what is this life all about, what is mind, what is intellect, what is my role, what is my goal. A basic idea and understanding of life is important for all of us, irrespective of what our age is. So I would recommend, there is this Vedanta Academy e-learning process is there. Every morning we are just getting associated with the idea of this. They are all recordings of the classes in Vedanta Academy. And I would say other classes that we have and the books that are there to read. This gives an idea about what is the general pattern. I mean, what is it that I am supposed to do? This is first and foremost thing. So before we even think of in terms of setting a goal and living properly, etc., it is very important that we know what the general knowledge of life and living is all about. So that is very important. Therefore, the avenues, of course, they will announce here also about e-learning, about Swamiji's books, about study classes, and one should be first of all mentally really prepared for this. That's all it is. It all boils down to this question that, is it that you are just using it only for like a feel-good factor or something like that, or are you really serious about it? See, if you are just serious about whatever this aspect of life is, every other aspect of life becomes actually playful. It should not be taken serious. Life should not be taken that way seriously at all, if only we attach direct seriousness to this. So again, on this auspicious day, we invoke the grace and blessings of the great masters, and it is through their grace that we can walk on this path towards self-realization, from life to living. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Namah Paramarshibhyo Namaha.
Poornam Adah Poornamidam Poornat Poornamudachyate Poornasya Poornamadaya Poornamevavashishyate